Today I am giving an update for the Battle for Rakir game. I just wanted to show something that I worked on, which is that I have added what I would call proper loading screens. And I'm going to try and show those off right now. Right after I enable the jump drive. 1 second as I try to find what the command is for that. If game set jump cooldown, okay. Game set jump cooldown, say 2. Okay. Oops. All right. So I have created some new loading screens. I'm rather proud of them because, loading screens are something most games have. And I thought, how can I use these loading screens to make the game seem more alive? And so what I thought would be a good idea is, since this game takes place in space, and you don't get to see much of what's happening on the planet Rakir, which is what the game is named after, Battle for Rakir. Rakir is the planet that you come from, that you're trying to save. I thought it would be cool if we could add a little bit of stuff about that planet. So what I did is I took the loading process when you switch scenes, which is you go from one level to the next, and I added a loading screen. And what I put on these loading screens is, first, the name of where you're going. So instead of just being called Sector 1, Sector 2, Sector 3, blah, 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 I actually gave them a subname. This is not the best background to see the subname on, but here it says 400,000 kilometers from Rakir. There's different backgrounds, as you're going to see shortly. And the other thing that I added was, the backgrounds themselves are supposed to be the planet Rakir, because this game takes place after that planet was basically barraged and hit with all kinds of weapons of mass destruction to really fuck it up. So what the backgrounds are, and they're random, as you're going to see, is there all kinds of different pictures of destruction of a desert planet, because Rakir is a desert planet. And I thought that would be a cool way to kind of show that Rakir, Rakir is there. Rakir has been destroyed or, really badly damaged. And this is the planet that you come from. And then in addition to the background, which I thought it would be good to do that instead of just having a blank black background or something, or a static background, I also decided to add this stuff. So you have the lore tab, which is going to tell you random facts about the planet. So lore, the people of Rakir has lived, spelling mistake, have to correct that, but there's a whole bunch of different lore things that I added. So for example, this one is, the people of Rakir have lived in a strict caste system for the last few hundred years. Cool. You learn more about your background and the planet. And then I also added this tips thing, which lets you know about game features that I may not have explained very well. There's a whole bunch of them too. They're selected randomly. This one says, kill tech and hex tech abilities have many requirements, but they are very powerful. That's a part of the game I haven't designed yet. But basically, there's going to be all sorts of not very complicated, but simple systems. And if you're playing the game for the first time, you may not know that they exist. So what I've done is I've added these tips to at least kind of make you aware of the fact that they're there, and you should go investigate them. So let's click any key to continue. And boom, we are in the next level. But I would like to show you more of the loading screens, because that's what this video is about. So we're going to go ahead and just go back and forth. So let's go ahead and see some different backgrounds. So we are again entering Sector 1, a Rakir Insurgency Center of Operations. So see, the subheadings actually make the areas seem a little bit more interesting, because instead of just being Sector 1, now you have a name for it. It has an identity. I think that was cool. Very small change, but makes the world a little bit more rich. Here you see that the lore has changed to a different one. I wrote a whole bunch of them. This one says, an extinction order is a protocol to wipe a planet clean of all inhabitants so that it can be resettled by a more cooperative population. And the tip this time is, shield HP regenerates over time, but hull HP can only be repaired at a friendly station. So again, the purpose of this, the lore one, is to make the world seem more alive and rich, and to world build a bit. And the tips are just to let you understand the game mechanics, how things work, what's available that you may not have known about. I've seen things like this in other games, so I thought it would be good to have it. And yeah, that's pretty much the loading screen. I'm gonna maybe show a few more, and then we can be done with this. I'm gonna show one more. I'm just gonna fly over here. Boom, look, there's another one. I think there's in total 5 backgrounds. For the lore, there's like maybe 15 items that show up. For the tips, it's like 10. So the tip, this is one we already got before. The lore this time says the planet of Rakir has a single type of habitat, a dry, inhospitable desert. These backgrounds, unfortunately, the text is not always clear. That might be something I have to fix in the future. Although right now, I thought this is fantastic. This is a huge improvement over what I had before, which was just a static loading screen that didn't look very good. I'm not going to show it, but it was awful. I think this looks a lot more polished, so I'm quite happy with it. I wanted to show this because I decided I should try and make a video for every cool feature that I add. And while this feature may not seem like much, I did put a lot of thought into it, and I thought it was quite cool. So see you next time. I'm going to be doing a video on all my side missions next, so that will be the next one.